making sure that that gets done. He's going to definitely be helping me, so I'm not having to maneuver too many different things here on my laptop. And then we're going to do an icebreaker. So we're going to break out into rooms, and I'm going to give you the instructions to that. There will need to be 1 leader in each breakout room. And also, when we come back, we'll discuss a little bit about what you did in your group, and then you'll share that with the whole group. And then we're going to talk about 5 tips that I've gathered for you that make you an all-star and help you to be a leader in class and beyond. And then I'll share some stories that I hope will help to drive the point home. And then we can play a game in between to keep you entertained. And then we're just going to wrap up with some questions. Does that sound good? Thumbs up? Okay.
Evelina, if
Did we
you don't
start
mind,
pulling the questions?
I would like to introduce you officially. So again, thank you so much for everybody being here. And for those that don't know me, my name is Ray Acuña Luna, and I am the project director for Cooks Rice. And it is my pleasure to introduce a very special speaker whom I met a few years ago when I was in college at UT Austin. And when I met her, I'm like, this is the kind of person that I want to connect with and I want to have our students connected with. And so I would like to introduce Evelina Solis, who is the founder and president of Soul to Soul, a life and wellness coaching, counseling, inspirational speaking resource. She's also the co-founder of the Power of Woman with Kebara Moten, an inspirational workshop series that helps women reignite their passion and refuel their energy to live their full and die empty. Evelina Solis was featured in 2 books called Aim High, Extraordinary Stories of Hispanic and Latina Women by Laura Contreras Rowe, and Live Free, Eliminate the If-Onlys and What-Ifs of Life, and was released by Kendra Smiley. 2 years in a row, Solis teamed up with Macy's and the American Heart Association as a life coach for the National Hispanic Heritage Month campaign called Live Well, Look Fantastic, and Be Fabulous. Evelina has a long history of helping folks realize their highest potentials, and I could not completely provide a bio in the time that we have, but she is fantastic, and please help me welcome Evelina.
You're so sweet, Ray. Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. As I said, I'm super grateful for you to just bring me on board and to even think about me 13 years later. Can you believe that? 13 years. We worked together at the University of Texas at Austin as you were a student and you were majoring in pre-med. We got to work with Monterey Tech University, and I put on a workshop there, and you were one of the amazing student leaders that was helping out that day. And so all these years later, still connected, and we get to talk. And we've been able to do this. So I'm really excited. This is the first of 3 workshops that I'm going to get to present to you all. And I hope you have an amazing time. It's so important. And so as we're going to get started, as I told you, we're going to be doing an icebreaker. But before that, there is a little like mantra, a little motto that I like to do with folks. So I'm hoping you can do it with me and say it out loud. We might not be able to hear you all because you're muted, but do it at home anyways. So repeat after me. I was created on purpose.
I was created on purpose.
On purpose. For a purpose.
For a purpose.
And I was born to make a difference. I was born to make a difference. One more time. I was created on purpose.
It was created on purpose.
For a purpose.
For a purpose.
And I was born.
So I was born
to make a difference. Okay, don't forget that throughout this because it's super important. So that's one of the things I wanted to start with. And then we're going to talk about our icebreaker because we're going to get ready to go into rooms to get to know everybody a little bit better. I hope you have a piece of paper and a pencil. And if not, hopefully you can grab one quickly. Some kind of a piece of paper, pencil. I'm going to give you some directions and then we're going to break them out. Ray, does that sound good? Okay. Okay, so you're going to take your paper, fold it in half. And no, this is not a magic. And then you're going to fold it in half again. So you're going to have 4 rectangles. Got your paper, fold it in half again. So vertically and then horizontally. And then you're going to answer these 4 questions. In the first, you're probably just going to have to write this down because you probably won't be able to see it. But the first left corner is going to be what has being in quarantine taught me. That's going to be at the top left-hand corner. What has being in the quarantine taught me? Being in quarantine taught me. Once you've written it down, thumbs up. Okay. Move over to the right-hand side across. So the top right-hand side is, what is your dream job? When you're done writing that, thumbs up. Okay, in the bottom left-hand corner is, what is your personal motto / quote? What is something you live by? Something that refers to you or your life? And then you're going to go down to the bottom right-hand corner. Who do you look up to the most? Those are your 4 questions, and that's what's going to help you to get to know people in your breakout group. So again, just to repeat, just in case if you're just joining us, you're going to fold your paper into 4 rectangles, squares, and you're going to write, what has being in the quarantine taught me? What is your dream job? What is your personal motto or quote? And who do you look up to or respect the most? All right? So I'll be popping in to your group, and then we'll come back here. Hey, Ray, how many people are we going to have in each breakout room? I can't hear you.
How many groups do you want?
How many people do we have so far?
30.
30?
Mm-hmm.
We can put groups of 5.
Okay.
And then we can give them 7 minutes. Everybody can share about a minute. They'll have to be a leader in a group. And just in case they get started a little slower. And then we're going to meet back here. How does that sound? All right, thumbs up. I like the thumbs up. We do like high fives, like in our Camp Gladiator, which is like a virtual workout group. So we're like, give me a high five, give me a high five. Thumbs up is good. Okay. All right, see you all in 7 minutes.
And they're coming back in 1 second. And here they are. You're muted, Evelina.
Welcome back, everyone. Did most of you get to share? Thumbs up. Okay, good. Is there anyone who wants to share one of the answers to the 4 different questions in your breakout session? Everyone's shy. Remember at the beginning, I said it's going to be fun if we participate. So if anyone would like to share specifically maybe on what has being in the quarantine during this time, during the pandemic, what has it taught you? Does anyone have an answer that they would like to share? All right. We got.
I said I just learned that it's important to get to know myself and kind of feel comfortable being alone. I went from living in my sorority house with all my best friends and 60 other girls who are very similar to me, and now I'm home with my family, so I'm very thankful for that. But it's important definitely to kind of get familiar with yourself since I spend so much time in my room.
Yes, that's a great answer, because we do have to get comfortable with spending that time alone. Anyone else want to share, or even what is your dream job? I don't know if anyone is
one
raising.
thing that, oh wait, was someone else talking? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing that I've been learning in quarantine, just like picking up things that I wouldn't normally do. Like I started cooking, and I've found that it's like really fun. And so like it just gives you like you have way too much free time, so you might as well do something new, try things.
Picking up a new skill. Making a good use of your time. Anyone else want to share anything? Does anybody have a personal motto or quote? Thank you, Araceli. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Anyone have a personal motto or quote that they use? How about, does someone want to talk about someone that they look up to or respect the most?
My mom.
Who's answering? Can you say your name, state your name before you answer? I heard mom and parents. I don't know who it was that said it, because you said it too fast.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
So I'm Brian, but I look up to my parents because they didn't have the opportunities that I have now, of school, and I want to do this for them. And
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I'm in the same place. I look up to my parents so much because they had it so much harder than I did, and they paved the way for me to be able to do what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else want to talk about?
I definitely agree with that. My parents came from Egypt, immigrated here. They built themselves up from nothing, My dad went to school. So they're a big influence in my life. I want to go to that field for him.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why you look up to them. All right, if no one else wants to answer, we're going to jump right in to learn these 5 tips and give you some inspirational things to walk away with. Again, if you're just joining us, if you weren't here for the beginning, I have a little motto that I like to, or little chant, I guess, that I like to do during my presentations, and it is, I was created on purpose for a purpose, and I was born to make a difference. So earlier I had everybody kind of saying it with me. So if you want to just repeat after me, I was created on purpose.
Created on purpose.
I was created on purpose.
For a purpose.
For
For
purpose.
And I was born to make a difference.
No,
Different.
So just jumping right into this presentation, All-Stars, leaders in the class and beyond. As you know, the ultimate mark of success is a star. So if you think about it like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, there's a bunch of stars. If you think about when like basketball teams play, they play on an all-star team. And most people these days want to be like a YouTube star or a TikTok star. So it's definitely what people want to be. You know, they want to be recognized. They want to have purpose. And so that's why I called this All-Stars, and I use STARS as an acronym. And in the business world, we have tons of leaders. We have them in the commerce, we have them in sports, we have them in medicine, we have them in politics. And leadership really is a mindset. It doesn't happen without action. You can't just be a leader because you say so, right? You have to have a desire to lead, and you have to understand your own capacity to do it. We should take time to create and organize activities and groups on our own if there isn't a group out there that caters to your passions or your interests. For instance, student council or mock trial and debate club or performing arts or community engagement and involvement, even like new student orientation or even summer leadership internships are great ways to get more leadership experience. So some leadership traits that we all look for is a hunger for continuous learning, a desire to help and inspire those around us, a willingness to take responsibility and to delegate, and the ability to be able to motivate others through compassion and understanding. It's not about how many people you oversee. It's about, or how inspirational you are. It's how you're able to forward the progress and the spirit of those around you. How do you build new and lasting relationships? How are you really helping those that are in need? How are you mobilizing your peers and the communities around you? You have to take advantage of opportunities to shine for the benefit of others and gain personal skills that you need. So you need to find things that you're passionate about and knowledgeable about. And you don't have to be an expert just yet. You just have to feel super strongly about it. And this is how a true leader is born. The certain groups that I was talking about, like student council, have standard goals for each member, but they also allow the students to create their own personal goals and trajectory. So my question to you today is, how do you create a lasting impression in the world? And this is why I say you were created on purpose, for a purpose, and you were born to make a difference. So I'm going to just jump into the presentation itself. All-Stars is an acronym, and the S, let's get over here too. Oops, let me see if, let me share my screen with you all so you can see what I'm talking about. They let me know if, thanks for your patience. You gotta love technology. Here, trying to show my iPad here with you all, see if you can see it. Is it showing? Let me see. All right, can you see all that? See that, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, here's a quote that I love. Let me try to. Do not follow where the path may lead, but go instead where there is no path and leave a trail, by Ralph Emerson. I love that quote because a lot of times we have to make a way. You know, if there isn't a path, we have to create, you know, we have to open a door. That's just how things work when you become a leader. So talking about the S in All-Stars, I'm using seek, experience, and mentors. And the reason I'm talking about seeking experience to be a leader in the class and beyond is because it is a gift to try new things. A lot of times we are scared to do things, and those are the things that you should go try. You will take so much from it. You're going to also learn time management, and you're going to improve your communication skills. You're going to learn teamwork while you're getting this real life experience. And then you're going to be able to apply those skills into other situations and as you go into college and beyond. And then you're going to have a competitive edge because you're already getting experience so early on. You're going to learn new skills hands-on, and then it's so much better than just reading your textbook, because being able to apply it to real life situations, there's nothing better than that. And then you're going to find out what you do and don't like, because there's going to be things that you thought would be really cool doing, and then you're going to find out, actually, I really don't like that. So a story that I wanted to share with you was that when I was in high school, I was a sophomore, I was in this home economic class. And I don't even know if they have that in high schools or if your school has that. But they allowed us to have an internship or to try out something that we were interested in as like a dream job. Most people chose things locally. But ever since I was young in school, I grew up in a town of like 6,000 people with a couple of stoplights. And there just wasn't a ton of opportunity. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in this little town called Hoopeston, Illinois. It's 2 hours south of Chicago. And in that place, I was dreaming big dreams, you know, the ones that are super scary and the ones that people probably laugh at you for because, you know, you want to do so many things with your life and they're just like, really, you know, look at the opportunities around us. How is that going to happen? But anyways, I, from a little kid, knew I love to do, you know, I did speech and debate, and I loved journalism, and I loved writing, and I loved everything about it. And I used to say, like, when I was 6, like, I wanted to be in the TV. I didn't know exactly how that happened, but I knew I wanted to do something where I was able to teach people and to make a difference in the world by, you know, doing some kind of broadcasting. So I ended up getting this internship or opportunity to be able to go to WGN Channel 9 in Chicago to job shadow a news anchor. And that was the first time anything like that or that kind of opportunity would even cross my mind. I knew I would see those people and they were in the TV. I just didn't know how they would get there because I'm a first generation college student. And so asking a lot of questions, you know, having to like work my way through that process was super difficult. And I had to stumble a lot along the way. And so I had a tia, like an aunt, who had a connection through her husband for WGN Channel 9. And there is the first time I had a hunger to know more and want to do more. So at 15, 16 years old, I was like, oh, this is something maybe I could possibly do. So I shadowed her the entire day. This lady was super pregnant. She was going to have a kid like any moment. So I was like super scared. I was like, she's going to go into labor while I'm at the job with them. And I got to see how hectic it was putting a story together. And, you know, she was super nice and just really helped me out. And while I was there, they actually put me on live on television. It was like, read the teleprompter. And I'm just like, what? I mean, I wanted to try it out, but I didn't expect to do it on that day. But that really changed my life. Just seeing that, seeing the production behind it, and getting to do it at such a young age, it made me want to do it even more. And so getting that experience and just calling someone up that you know in your community that does something that you think you may like, you'd be surprised. They'd be willing to help you and just show you. And maybe you could be that with them for a day or a week, and you're going to find out if that's something you would like to do. So that eventually led to a career and a major in broadcast journalism in Spanish and electronic media there at Ohio Northern University. And then from there, I built on that experience and I got this fellowship in New York City for the International Radio and Television Society Foundation. And I was able to do some things at a really young age that most people couldn't. And I had one of my dream jobs right out of college. I was interviewing celebrities with CBS Television and Westwood One Radio at 21 years old. And I also finished college early because when everybody else would take time to, and I'm not saying you can't have fun because you should, but they're taking time to have a little too much fun. I was busy studying and trying to just knock everything out because I was there on a partial scholarship, but I also was working 3 jobs to get through college because I didn't have things handed out to me. I had to work hard for them. And so that kind of is my experience with seeking experience. And then with the mentors part, you want to be able to improve your social skills by having a mentor. They can help you with your self-esteem and give you confidence in the things that you need. And they're also going to provide for you some career exploration. they're going to help you academic activities, and they're also going to be a champion for you and be a friend. And I know this program is set up, Upward Bound and Cougs Rise, you know, is set up to have mentors. So you're already getting that opportunity that most students wouldn't, and you should definitely take advantage of that. So that's the S, is seek experience and mentors. And right now in the chat, I would like for you to put the name of someone that you are mentored by, you know, or someone who has left, you know, a lasting impression on you. Kind of like what we talked about, you know, who do you look up to, who do you respect? But for this, someone that is your mentor, you can put that in the chat right now. And I'm going to go on to our next point. So let me check these out really quickly. Just saw Michaela say she was leaving. Thank you for joining us. Ashma. Okay, great. Continue to put those in the chat, and then I will go on to the next point, which is teamwork. I use teamwork in All-Stars because without teamwork, we can't get a lot of things done. There's only so much that we can do. We have specific gifts and talents and abilities, and there's other people we need to lean on and get support from to be able to accomplish our goals. You know, these people bring new ideas. They bring a different perspective. They help to solve problems, and when it comes to brainstorming, they help you find creative solutions or a different way to go about it. They also, this is a place where your confidence is built and your trust is built, which is so important as a leader. If you can't be trusted, no one is going to follow you. There's also, I mean, there's so many, you know, you work together for a common goal and you meet deadlines together, and there's just more of a quality of work if you know someone is supporting you. It definitely builds your morale. You feel more valued when you're producing results together as a team. And then there's this sense of belonging and deep commitment to each other, and you all come together for a common goal. So teamwork and trust could be the T's. You know, you have to have trust in order to work as a team, and you build that along the way in getting to know someone. And my example for teamwork is my daughter is just turned 8 years old, and I help to coach some teams that she plays. She's played soccer, basketball, and softball. And I'm going to use basketball as an example. But on her team, you know, you have taller girls that are stronger, and then you have the little ones who are faster. But in order for them to win a game, they all have to come together to play, right? I mean, if it was just one person playing the entire time, I mean, my daughter is smaller and, you know, shorter. She has a lot of speed and she can shoot from the outside and some from the inside, but we still need those stronger players who play from the inside and are closer to the basket to be able to get over some of the taller players. And so this is really important, you know, for teamwork. I mean, every person plays a different role, and in order for those people to accomplish their goal, in order for them to win games, you know, I'm constantly like, pass it to another player if they're open, or, you know, be looking out if you're wide open, go up for the shot. I mean, you have to be able to work so many things at the same time to be able to work as a team. And so that's kind of my example for teamwork. All right, the next one is, the A is for authentic and accountable. For being a star, you need to be authentic and accountable. You need to keep it real. So you need to be like down to earth, keep it real, and you need to be able to be responsible, and you need to be able to answer to individuals. You're gonna find more genuine satisfaction in any type of class or career that you choose to do in the future if you're authentic. And this will end up aligning you with your interests and your skills and your values. You need to be confident in opinions and the work you deliver. So you will also need to display a genuine sense of honesty and trustworthiness. People are going to open up to you if you're authentic. You're going to create more true connections and real relationships, and you're going to be motivated and eager to achieve, and that is going to help lead you to success. It inspires loyalty and engagement, and your team will end up following your lead if you end up doing these things. So from grade school until now, if you were to talk to anyone, and I have a lot of friends that I've had over the span of 20, 30 years, they will tell you that they probably are not surprised at what I'm doing today. I have stayed true to who I am, what I believe, and the skills and abilities that I have. I'm not trying to go out and do and be something I'm not, because my job and what I do, I'm a certified life coach and inspirational speaker. I mean, all of it you can research and see. So I have to continually, stay true to who I am. And it's the reason why I've been able to speak at many places and do all of this in my career, is because of that. And people also need to know that I am responsible, as I am doing different jobs, and, I'm a coach of a team, or I'm subbing for a class. I sometimes sub for my daughter's second grade class. They need to know that I'm a responsible person. And all of that helps to be a leader. All right, for the next, so you got the S-T-A, and now we're moving on to R, because we're getting here toward the end of our presentation. We've got 15 minutes left. The R is resilient. And I chose resilient. There's a lot of R words probably that we can use for leaders, but because of the ability to bounce back and to go through some of the toughest times. And I know a lot of you have already experienced a lot of tough times. And even right now, as we're in this pandemic, we've all had to make major changes, and we've had to adjust and adapt. But we've had to learn to have grit, that persistence, having courage and be passionate and have perseverance. Honestly, we cannot have a message if we haven't gone through a mess. There has to be a test in order to have a testimony. The reason I get to do what I do today and tell my story is I have been through a lot of mess, and I'm thankful that I'm able to create a message to help others and not just get caught up in the mess part of it. But the gift of adversity actually helps to strengthen your leadership skills, believe it or not. The more you've experienced, the more you can relate to people, and the more they're going to understand you. These tough times, they actually show your integrity, and they will show people what you do in those times. Like, are you doing what is right? You've heard that saying, what makes you, if it makes you strong, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And those tough times do exactly those things. They just help you to build so much perseverance. And then you have to have faith during the time that there's going to be a solution and you're going to find a way. If you're a leader, I like to say you have to fake it until you make it, but I actually use faith it until you make it, because a lot of times you get thrown into situations you really don't know how to handle them, but you have to have your game face on for your team. You can't show them that you don't really know. You have to just be like, this is going to be great. We're going to get through this, and just figure out things along the way. And so that is part of that being resilient. You need to also be able to welcome change. Change is really tough, maneuvering through change. You're going to learn from those failures, and then you're going to embrace those scars. And adversity actually is the best teacher to success. I personally, as I told you, I'm a first generation college student. I was the first to move away to pursue my career. Most of my family has lived within 30 to 60 minutes of each other. A lot of them still currently reside in Chicago, and a lot have moved to Texas. So a lot of them still live within a 4-hour or 5-hour range from each other. But I've had to come across a lot of obstacles just like you, and it hasn't always been easy. But I am now able to tell my younger cousins, or even my sibling who's 10 years younger than me, what he needed to do to be successful and how to go about things. You have to continually remember your why as you're pushing through and being resilient. When you're there studying or having to turn in another test, or just go through something that you don't want to have to do. You have to remember why you're doing it in the first place. My parents were migrant workers, and they migrated from Texas up to Illinois, and they ended up staying there because they wanted a better life for us. My dad ended up being drafted with the military post-Vietnam era, like he was in that part, and he had to serve for a few years, not by choice, but because he had to. But that really changed the trajectory of our lives and everything that we're doing now. And so I'm super grateful to them, and they're some of the people I look up to the most because of that and what they've had to go through and what their life was like growing up as nothing, because they ended up providing so much more opportunity for me, and they made hard moves and adjustments so that we would have a better life. And so I hope now the things that I'm doing shows them that I'm super thankful for all of their sacrifices. And so they're some of the most resilient people that I know. I also have had to bounce back from a lot of hospitalizations. If you look at me, I probably look like a healthy person to you, but if you join me for my next workshop, plug for next workshop, the 1 month to live, carve your name on hearts and not tombstones, I actually go a little bit more into my story. But I've flatlined 3 times, and I've been in a wheelchair a few times, as well as had to learn how to talk, walk, and eat again. So I reverted back to like a 6-month-old, and that is part of my resilience and what has helped me to be able to continue to do this and have something to look forward to and have hope for tomorrow is the fact I'm still here, and I am created on purpose for a purpose, and I was born to make a difference. Let's see. Also, one of the most resilient people that I know is my daughter. She's had to go through a lot because I had medical issues, and they didn't think I was going to be able to have her. And she was born with a short left arm, one extra lumbar vertebrae, one less rib. I mean, there was just a lot of, a little hole in her heart. There was just a lot of medical issues that my daughter was having to overcome. And with the grace of God, she miraculously is a full functioning 8-year-old today. And so again, if you want to hear more of that story, you'll have to come join me for the next 2 workshops. So that is my thing on being resilient. Now let's go to the last point, is Samaritan. Nothing is more important than this one point. If there's nothing you take from S.T.A.R.S today, and right now, actually, I want you to put in the chat someone that you know that is super resilient, or like how that's impacted you, if they've had to overcome something, or maybe they, are fighting cancer, or I don't know, they have a chronic illness or something. If you can write that in the chat of someone that you know that you would say is super resilient, has a lot of grit and perseverance, I would love to hear from you. So go ahead and put that in the chat. But as I'm going through talking about a Samaritan, this is the most important point, because once you get to where you're going, it is so important to give back. You cannot just take all those skills and move on to have this better lifestyle and, just have a better living, and then you're not taking people up with you, and you're not coming back to give back to your community or to those around you. That is so important. You need to make an impact. You need to come back and strengthen your community. You need to continually meet others to help them. Giving back has so many benefits. I mean, it improves your health. It makes you feel good. It's the reason why we are created. So if you're missing that component of your life, you need to find something that you can relate to and something that you're able to give back to. That is so, so, so important. I cannot stress it enough. And then, once you've made it, you get to share your expertise with people. And you can go back, to your local schools, or, the Boys and Girls Club, or whatever it is, this Upward Bound program. You can go back and share your expertise. And then you're going to improve your skills. And then you're going to learn new ones as you're doing these good deeds, as you're giving back. And another plus for you, it looks really good on your resume, because there's nothing that makes you feel better from the inside than to give back. This is going to help you find new opportunities as you're out there helping others. You can find your next dream job, or, your next connection for what you need. So make sure you are giving back. Some of the causes that I love to give back to is because I was diagnosed with lupus 11 years ago. I've been living with a chronic illness, and that's why I've been in and out of the hospital. Like I said, I've flatlined 3 times, which is really, really scary. But the Lupus Foundation of America, I have helped with them on a local level and a national level. And I've been able to be their MC for their walks that happen annually, and I've been able to be a part of their support groups. I've also been able to give back to Hill Country Christian School, which is where my daughter goes to school at. I sometimes sub for that class. I sometimes sub for the PE coach. I'm able to do all these different things with all of my skill set. You know, I went to school for broadcast journalism, and then I eventually worked in higher education, and I worked at Ohio Northern University. I worked at the University of Miami in Coral Gables, and I worked at the University of Texas at Austin. And all of that experience helped me to do all these fun new things, and I'm able to do that. So it's been fun. And, you know, being a coach and just being a volunteer at that school, those are my favorite days, is going to volunteer with them on Wednesdays before the pandemic, because we've had to homeschool. But so those are just some of the ways I give back. I've started a couple of Facebook groups too, with like fitness and health, just because I'm so passionate about that. And I like to help people along their journey to stay motivated. So I'm going to show you some of my social media. Hopefully we can stay connected, so that if you have any more questions or I can help you with anything, we can continue these conversations. I also, a big thing I did for this year was a 40th birthday challenge. Instead of receiving things, I had 40 people do 40 random acts of kindness, and they went back and like tagged me on Facebook. And it was cool because more than 40 people were impacted, and that was like one of the best gifts ever, was to be able to give to others. It is better to give than to receive, and it was just a beautiful thing. All right, so we're finishing out here. Just as a review, All-S.T.A.R.S is, the S is for seek, experience, and mentors. The T is for teamwork. The A is to be authentic and accountable. The R is resilient. And the S is Samaritan. Be helpful, give back to your community, do good deeds, and do them for no reason. Just do them because. All right, so this is a time where I'm opening up for any kind of questions that you may have for me, because I know you all have only about 5 minutes left. I wanted to make sure is there anything you want to know? In the chat, I would like for you to put the one thing that you're walking away with from this presentation. I hope you've had some fun and you have enjoyed it. So comment in the chat the one thing that you have taken away from this presentation. Hey, everybody. I'm going to try to look at those really quickly.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's Sydney talking, but
Who's me? Sorry, I got to go and look at.
Oh, Sydney.
Okay, Sydney.
I signed up for this webinar through the Suitable app for one of my classes. Do you, if you're aware, it's through the BA 102 at Wazoo, if you know anything about that. Do I have to do anything moving forward to get credit for attending this?
I think that would be a Ray question.
Hey, Sydney, just shoot me an email and I can respond back with confirmation. My email is ray.acuna@wsu.edu. Again, ray.acuna@wsu.edu, so that I can provide proof of attendance for your professor.
Awesome, thank you.
Sydney, that's great. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
from a class.
It was a great midday little motivation.
I hope so. There's some quotes I want to leave you all with as I'm reading these comments here. If there's any good quotes you want to share with me, let me know. But you all obviously all know, like, Gandhi's quote, right? Be the change you wish to see in the world. I mean, that is used so often, but it's so true. And then great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, always about the goal. And that's by Lisa Haisha. And leaders are made, they are not born. They are made by hard effort, which is the price all of us must pay to achieve a goal that is worthwhile. And that's by Vince Lombardi. And then success means we go to sleep at night knowing that our talents and our abilities are used in a way that serve others. And that's by Miriam Williamson. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And that's by John Maxwell. And the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. And that's by Ronald Reagan. And the last, if the opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Milton Berle, or Berle, I guess it is. And I personally just love a trainer of mine that I've been working out with for a while, always says, don't waste a heartbeat. And I feel like with the pandemic and everything that we're seeing and the way the world is and the turmoil that we're going through, is just not to take anything for granted. Don't waste a heartbeat. And I love to say, faith it until you make it. I mean, you know, we've got to push through, we've got to continue to try to keep it together. And, you know, we have our moments, but get back on track. And so what is the best that can happen, right? Okay, Ray, let's see, how are we doing on time? I wanted to show you guys, we were talking about books earlier. Here's one of the books that Ray was talking about, Aim High, Extraordinary Stories of Hispanic and Latina Women by Laura Contreras Rowe. And that's the story here. And then there is this other book called Live Free by Kendra Smiley. And my story is called Choose to Dream, right here. And these are all things from those tips that I gave you today, just truly living that out. And here, this last screen that I'm sharing with you is how to stay connected. Through Facebook, I'm EvelinaSolis.com on the World Wide Web. Evelina Solis on Facebook, Soul to Soul with Evelina on Instagram, because I know most of you do use Instagram. And again, if you've taken a picture, Ray, I don't know if there's a way to screenshot. I should have probably had you do it earlier. Everyone that was in here. Let's see. But if you can, go ahead and post onto those social media sites. Do Snapchat. I have Pinterest. I also have like LinkedIn, which is Evelina Solis, and Twitter is Soul to Soul. They just all couldn't fit on those, too many to keep up with.
All right. Well, thank you, Evelina, for joining us today, and everybody else for joining us today as well. As a reminder, we have another 2 more presentations coming up from Evelina. The next one is next Wednesday, May 28th at 2 p.m. I'm so sorry. Tuesday is the next one, May 26th at 2 p.m. And that's 1 month to live. It's a promising presentation, and we're excited to have Evelina back again. And then the last one in her series is Wednesday, May 28th at 2 p.m. A roadmap to achieving your goals. And with that, Evelina, any lasting parting words? Thank you so much for being here.
You are created on purpose for a purpose, and you were born to make a difference.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. Next time, hopefully I can see a lot more beautiful, handsome faces if you feel comfortable, so we can be interactive. Thank you for those that were able to turn on their video. And thank you all for taking the time to be here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.